friend is actually doing, if he's actually on right now. All right. So, if you have any kind of questions at all with regards to relationships, so I mean, one of the biggest thing with regards to AI, there's so many benefit of having AI. One, if you are not don't feel very comfortable in actually having like a conversation, sharing something very private, very intimate about your relationship, or asking sex questions that might feel very overwhelming, it's actually very comforting to know that just through your phone, and you can actually just ask the questions to AI and then gets pretty relatively really good. Actually, depending on whichever AI platform that you have, it can spit out some really good answer. And then the second thing with regards to using AI is you're actually able to um, have like a very structured answer based on research, books, different things that are out there. And they're actually able to gather and compile it for you in a very short, summarized way of how to actually be able to go and extract the answer that you need right away at the click of your fingertip without, having to read all of the books, podcasts, and stuff like that. You can, although those things are very, very good. I mean, they're much more detailed, but if you need a quick answer, AI is very, very efficient in that way. Again, all depending on whichever platform that you have. So now that I see that I'm actually live, I'm not exactly sure where I would actually go and be able to invite my wonderful friend, Kevin. So let me just see if there's a way. Well, while we're talking about AI, how about I actually just ask AI, how do you actually go and get one of your friend onto your YouTube channel? Okay, let's see. How can I invite my friend to join me on my YouTube channel? All right, let's see what it says. So bear with me. It's really my very, very first. I've done some other social media platform, mostly on Facebook, some on TikTok. Um, but for YouTube, this is my very first, which is really, really cool. Actually, I didn't even know. Like, it almost sounds like you're actually in a movie theater for the studio. Okay, so my wonderful friend said he's not exactly sure how to actually be able to invite somebody onto his platform. The option that used to be there is no longer there. Let me see what, yeah, I basically suggest. Okay. No. On the YouTube studio, now that I'm actually live, where do I have to go click in the settings on the YouTube studio to go invite a person to join my YouTube channel? Okay, so what do we got here? So, in this type of case, as you can see, this can actually be very beneficial. It is another thing when it comes to relationship and sex, though. Okay, so if you already live in YouTube Studio, there is no invite guest button inside the YouTube Studio itself. YouTube Studio Live Control Room. start stop stream, chat, but no built in guest invite feature. So, how do people bring guests on YouTube Live? You use StreamYards. So you would actually have to use. So you go to StreamYard, connect your YouTube channel, create a live stream, click invite, send your friend the link. They join with the cameras and mic. Then, or option number two, use Zoom plus stream to YouTube. Right. Hmm. Okay. Well, that's really cool. So I'm just going to send this to my friend here. Da, 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 da. Okay, so maybe I can just say a few things with regards to relationship and AI. I'm not an expert on it, so don't quote me on this, but maybe let me just go with what really speaks to my heart when it comes to relationships. So if you see me once in a while with this, that is just a bruise. As I was actually going yesterday, it was beautiful and gorgeous and a sunny day in Montreal, and we've been having snow for the longest stretch of time. Winter never wanted to leave us, and it finally left. And there was a beautiful sunshine. It was like something like 23 or 25 degrees yesterday. So I had to go and take advantage of it. I went on my electric scooter, just went all around my neighborhood near the waters and nature. And it was wonderful. And I had myself a nice iced cappuccino, which always makes my day. And then my son came and joined me and on the electric scooter, and he decided let's do a competition. Competition got the best of me. So I really wanted to win the competition itself. So what I actually did was we competed, and I actually beat him, but through this long curve. We were going at full speed, and luckily, it's like a nature trail, so there's not a whole lot of people that will actually come there. So, no dangers to other people. We are very mindful of that with regards to speed. But as I was nearing the final of the stretch, there was a curve you had to turn, but because I was going at full speed and I didn't commit to it, I actually was terrified that I would badly turn it and would jerk the electric scooter and press stop like really quickly, that I would actually slip and fall. So that's exactly what happened. Because I hesitated, I braked too fast on my electric scooter. It threw me off, and rather than landing properly, there is a definite technique on how to fall without actually hurting yourself badly. Rather than doing that, I just kind of like ice skating and scraped my whole hands and my elbow, and then my knee. But these bruises are nothing. Like, I mean, there's people who've done way more bruising, but it's been a while. So that was a little shocker for me. And I just like, oh my God, I just wanted to cry. But then I realized I snapped out of it. I'm like, ah, pain is mentally, it's in your mind. So if you know how to control pain, you can actually deal with it really well. Mhm. Zoom. We can use Zoom, or StreamYard to invite. Hey, friend. There you go. So bear with me. This is live. I'm just going to really enjoy this whole entire thing with technology since it's my first. I hope you forgive me with regards to this. So I'm just going to tell like stories and stuff like that, guys. So, and I'll tell a story with regards to relationship as well. So you get a feel of who I am. But yeah, so I didn't commit to actually winning it. I hesitated, and then, I fell and hurt myself. But pain is actually a choice. So the moment, because I've gone through way, way worse thing in my life, and which I'll talk about it in just a few seconds. I decided, okay, pain is actually a choice and I can actually control it with my mind. So the moment I decided this is just a scratch, yeah, it hurts, it sucks, but I can definitely get up and continue, and way worse thing can actually happen. And I just say to myself, like, I don't feel pain. And honestly, for the longest time since I was younger, my dad taught me how to endure pain. You can actually learn to become with pain. So the moment I started saying I don't feel pain and it's just there, yeah, it hurts, it sucks, but I'm not going to cry about it, and I'm not going to make a big fuss out of it, because that's going to prevent me from enjoying this whole moment that I had such a beautiful moment with my son. And rather than complaining, oh my God, I'm hurting on the electric scooter on the way back home, I decided let's make the best out of this moment. And yeah, it hurt, but it's okay. There's still beauty out there. The sun is, the sunlight feels so good on my skin, the wind, the nature. And so that's what I mostly focused on, and didn't give too much attention to my pain. And then it was fine. So when I actually got home and then started disinfecting it, pouring peroxide on it, god damn, it burned like a motherfucker. It was like almost like carving a hole through my skin. It's been a long time since I didn't hurt like that. Um, all right, so um, let's kind of dive in. Let me introduce myself so you kind of know who I am. If you've been paying attention to the work that I do on my channel, I actually have a podcast called Nothing Less Than Extraordinary, where I interview ordinary Joe and ordinary Jane who have done extraordinary things in their life, but most people don't even know about it. So, my name is Ree Duong. I'm actually based in Montreal, Canada. I have a training in social work, and I work as a relationship coach. I've been doing that as a side gig, um, you know, but this year I decided I want to be able to commit to this mission on a full time basis to really give it a shot. So taking a leave, to try a new career, to really dedicate, see if this could be something that is sustainable and something that I'm very passionate about, something that doesn't even feel like work to me, helping others find true love, or first and foremost, to find one unconditional love for oneself, to actually be good in your own skin, to feel confident, to feel radiant, to feel magnetic, to just showing up as the best version of you. To me, that is everything. The way you show up, as long as you're doing the work with yourself and you're okay accepting that you're a perfectly imperfect human being and no human being is actually perfect, you are much more capable and more confident and much more likable and relatable, because people know what to expect with you, and they know with you they're going to get honesty, and they know they can count on you. And because you're so fully aligned, you are not there to impress no one. And if people, want to be able, your messaging, your personality speaks to them, they will reach out to you. So that is really at the core of my relationship coaching, is really teaching people to choose themselves. So one of the thing is, last year I published my book. It's called Choose You, Choose Happiness, Finding Love the Right Way. And it made it on Amazon number one bestseller. So if you want to know more about relationship and all the green flags and red flags and what to do and how do you decide if should you stay or should you go in a relationship, it has all of that, all of my experience. So my story is about 6.5 years ago, just before COVID, I lost my baby sister to depression. She committed suicide. And from that moment on, it really flipped my world upside down because she was like my twin sister. I'm the oldest, she's the baby, and we had this beautiful respect and love for one another. We accepted each other's difference, and we also hold each other very accountable to the things that we say we want to do and accomplish. So when she left this world, and we were also supposed to start a company of a sisterhood company together to empower other individual to live their best life, to live a life that they can be proud of, to making money and to have the freedom and the luxury to do the things that light them up, the things that make them feel alive every single day. And that was my way of giving her a future to hold on um, to get better from her depression. Unfortunately, she did not win it. So she left this world. And that got me assessing my own situation, my own marriage of 17 years. And I had to come to admitting that I was actually in an unhealthy relationship and that it was time. I asked myself, could I see the partner that I'm with as much as I love them? Could I see myself living another 3 to 5 years with that person? And the answer, I didn't have a logical answer from my mind, but I can feel it in my heart that was saying, no, like if I stay any longer with this person, my lights, my candle, what makes me happy, what makes me joyful, it's actually gonna just vanish. Um, and so I decided to file for divorce and I created Eternal Love because I love love. And I'm a true believer that we need more love in this world with everything that's happening right now, all the chaos and the drama that's happening there. So my mission really is to, at the core, to bring as much love to the world as much as possible. That means first and foremost teaching people to choose themselves, to choose themselves. Why I say choose you, choose happiness. To choose themselves and to choose happiness for themselves, whatever that looks like for you, not by the standard of what society dictate is supposed to be the happiness for you, but it's your happiness. If you have big goals, you want to pursue that, great. If your goal is to be, living in a small little place with a few little reliable friend, just having this little oasis of yours and you're happy and you're content with that, great. But if for you it's like, I want to become a millionaire, a billionaire, and I want to crush as many goals as possible, I want to be on stage and doing all of these different things, that is what makes me feel alive, great, good for you. But the core of all of it is learning to truly express who you are as an individual without ever justifying and apologizing for being you. Because you're very unique. I know you hear that often, but if you truly love yourself unconditionally, no other person's opinion can actually matter, can actually touch you. And that is one of the most powerful things that a human being can have because you're just at peace with yourself. You have no one to impress but you. Everybody could be, taking a completely different route, but you're okay being on a solo route that lights you up and you're fine with that. And that is very attractive and extremely enticing and very peaceful and zen. I will not proclaim that I have finally achieved the end of that, but I have done a lot of work on myself where I feel very much at peace with my life. I was able to work on myself, do the inner work to attracting my wonderful partner, Leandro Alvarez Giralt, for true love after a third try. And I'm super grateful for that. We have the most beautiful relationship that is so simple, so complementary, and we respect each other for who we are without ever wanting to change the other person. And that is very important because true love, and I'm a huge believer in true love. So whether you believe that or not, I mean, it's really up to you. What you believe is what you attract. So for me, true love means full honesty, seeing each other at our most vulnerable, at our most ugly, and yet we still love that person no matter what because we see more of the good side of them versus the less so pleasing side of them. And we know that they are capable of so much more. And we know that every human being is slightly flawed to some extent. Is can you live with the flaw of that particular partner of yours? And the answer for me with my partner was a definite yes. I remember when I first met him, I told him, I think it was very, very early on, maybe the first or second weeks of having met him. I said, if you were to stay the same as you are, I will forever love you. And I know this is a bonus because I know it's only going up from here on. If I already love the beautiful personality that you are, to me, that's complete. And so by the time I get to know him more, I will actually discover more beauty of who he is, as well as some of his flaw. But when you love someone really deeply, even their flaw become desirable, unique. It's just them, only them possess it. Nobody else possess that, and you want it and you crave it. So for my partner, he was, let me sidetrack a little bit. Because how do you know when you actually found a partner that is complementary for you? Each person will have their own person, not a formula that fits this everybody. What is a good fit for me might not be a good fit for you, but there is a parallel, a foundation that applies this when it comes to all relationship, when it comes to looking for a compatible partner. I'm going to keep this to about 30 minutes for you. And since this is my first live, I'm going to do this more often. I really actually enjoy this YouTube studio thing. I hope you enjoy it as well. But so when I first met my boyfriend, I just gotten out from a divorce of 17 years, like I said. Then I had another second relationship of 3 years. It was very magical for the first 2 years. And then the last year, just it didn't fit. And that was a hard one to swallow, to accept, because how does one go to loving somebody so deeply, both of you loving each other so deeply and having so much in common, and yet the last year, due to different challenge life circumstances, I had two kids. My ex-boyfriend didn't have any kids, and he was not that much interested in having kid. It was more, in his eye, it was more of tolerating, and sometimes at time a little bit of a nuisance, and they didn't have a natural connection between him and the kids, so that create friction. And imagine adding on top of that, to no fault of my ex-boyfriend as well, my ex-husband, that was creating chaos, using manipulation with kids, parental alienation to build this trust with my kids and my ex-boyfriend. So that aside, that relationship didn't work out. My ex-boyfriend decided he wanted to quit the relationship and leave. And although that was extremely painful for me, and trust me, I'm the type of girl who will date you, well, you in general, or any guys, um, not just any guy, the guy that is special in my eyes, of course. When the relationship, this was one of my weakness, when the relationship goes sour, I can tell you my exit plan is already laid out. So I'm the type of girl who will leave the man before they actually leaves me. And I don't say this in a way to be proud. I'm just naming the pattern to be aware of your own habits, how you relate in relationship. And this stems from the fact that I had a great fear of abandonment and a great fear of rejection. And because of that, I I love so much that I didn't want it to feel rejected or abandoned by the person that I love. So when the relationship starts to feel like it's going sour, not exactly going as planned, I will actually pack up my bag emotionally and just exit the relationship and will convince myself that I was not interested in the person in the first place. So, therefore, I had nothing major that I'm actually losing. But deep down inside my heart, I know that to not be true. But that is my defense mechanism that I do in order to protect myself, to not be hurt by it. And I know that to be in the case of quite a few people because I actually have a colleague and something that she said that was really interesting. She, of course, wants to have a boyfriend, but every time the boy get really close and admires her and really like her a whole lot, or she likes him a whole lot, she would just ghost him. As a protective mechanism. So have that has ever happened to you where you either see the relationship not quite going the way you plan it to go or starting to get sour, you go exit strategy, eject and go. Or when somebody really likes you a whole lot or you like them a whole lot, but you're so afraid that they're gonna be a disappointment, that they're gonna somehow hurt you and disappoint you, so you decided you ghost them, you don't wanna get too close because you're afraid that what if they are your person and you can't make it work? So you rather just call it quit and tell yourself a story. So I love to hear that in the chat if that's your case. So in my case, I knew I had to change the pattern because it would have happened again that in my second relationship, I would have quit on that relationship and just exit out. And I didn't want to do that for a second time because I was now very reflective enough to know that that was my pattern. So, because this is a person I chose and that I commit to, I wanted to make sure I did everything I could to stand by him and to fight for our relationship. Unfortunately, he had a different agenda and plan. He no longer wanted to be in the relationship. It was too much work for him, or maybe the kids, or whatever. He was no longer attracted to me, whatever the reason may be. That belongs to him. My old self back then, when he decided to leave, would be my internal dialogue, would be I'm not attractive anymore. I'm not enough. He no longer desire me. I have very little to offer him. But I knew that that wasn't true because I worked enough as a relationship coach to see all these different patterns from my client. And then I had to take an inventory of my own pattern to really ask honest question and give honest answer to myself. What is really happening right now? So what was really happening in that relationship of mine was that I knew that my pattern is to leave. So I wanted to break that pattern. So I decided to stick around. So I stayed in that relationship and said, I think we can make this work if you're willing to work at it. But when the person decide they didn't want it to work on the relationship anymore, and I didn't want it to be, how do you say, the side chick of my ex boyfriend. There are some people, and there's no judgment here, but it's just not my thing. Where you remain friends with that guy, it's not going well, it's your boyfriend, but it's slowly becoming your ex boyfriend, and you stay friends and you still maybe once in a while sleep with them, have the emotional connection. And for some people, that works and it suits their lifestyle. That's totally fine. If that's what you need at that moment and it works for you, go for it. But for me, I'm a very committed individual and I want to be with one person and I want to be with one person fully committed. So knowing that my ex-partner no longer was interested in committing into that and I didn't want to be played as a fool. So my non-negotiable standard. I definitely do not want to be a side chick to no guy. So he definitely want me to be a side chick. He was going to move back to his house, see me whenever it's convenient. We'll just have good time, probably sleep together. He gets the emotional um, connections and benefit from me. All the while, he's free to be single, date and play with any girls he meets. And if somehow he meets somebody better than me, if that's a better fit, for sure he's going to toss me out of the road. I knew that was the future with him. There was nothing great in that relationship anymore because the greatness in the relationship took place for the first 2 years. And we were heading to not being together in that way. So if I was to accept it, I would be inflicting more pain, tolerating more pain, more disrespect, and you lose the value of who you are as a high quality woman when you lower your standard to just keep the guy. And I knew that deep down inside internally that that's not what I wanted for myself. But how do you choose the right thing when your heart yearns and aches for this relationship that you want so badly and desperately for it to work? So you have to step back and get some distance and look and really truly assess, what do I want in a relationship? What are my standards? So I started going through my list. I wanted a man that was fully committed to me 100%. He sees me as his world. He is loyal to just me. I am not his side chick. I'm his everything. Now, the last relationship I had where the situation was going sour, he was no longer committed to me the way he was. He was having wandering eyes, checking out every single potential chick that could possibly be a good fit for him. He was no longer probably attracted to me the way he used to be attracted to me before. We have less and less common activity and vision that we share together. And so I realize that our value are now in conflict. I choose him. He no longer choose me. He wants to exit. So you cannot pursue something and hope that it will work by constantly chasing that person. You ever wonder, you try to run and dang, like, they have a carrot dangling over you. Like, if you can chase and catch this carrot, you will get it. It's yours. The problem with chasing is you never get what you truly want. And if you have to chase to get the thing that you truly want, then that is the signal. That is the red flag. It was never truly meant to be. I'm not saying that, maybe early in a relationship, you see a woman, you're attracted to her, and you want to pursue her to really get her to truly know who you are and that you're a good fit together because you see things that maybe he or she might not see just yet. That's not exactly the same thing as what I'm saying. When you're already committed and the relationship was good and then it breaks down and you're pursuing, trying to convince him to pick you as that person of his, well, he's no longer interested anymore for whatever reason. Maybe you guys need a distance, but I knew that my rules, my motto is that I'm the I'm the prize here. And any man that gets to be in my present, and I don't say that with arrogance, I say that with full confidence. And that's what it means to choosing yourself, to knowing your value, to knowing what you're worth. When you're a woman of high value, you know what you're worth. I know there's not a whole lot of chicks like me that is committed, loyal, hardworking, with big vision, um, kind, gentle, nurturing, family oriented, fun, great in bed. I'm not gonna fucking lie about it. It's the truth. All of that together, is really hard. Like to have a woman of a full package, good looking, intelligent, emotionally intelligent, can nurture and tend to you. She will be 100% committed to just you. That's a really hard thing to find. So I know that I'm one of the rare breed. And if my ex partner wasn't able to see my worth, well, that's his loss, not mine. And I'm not going to convince somebody of my value if they don't want to see it. There's no point. You either see it, you don't. It's like seeing a diamond. Like you got to have eyes to detect a diamond. If you're not trained to see a diamond, you can look at a diamond all day long, years and years on end, and still not be able to see that diamond. So it takes a man that is trained to see a diamond to actually see that diamond in the rough and extract it and turn it to something beautiful, which is exactly what took place for me and my boyfriend. We both were trained in seeing diamonds in the rough for both of us, and we chose each other. So I let him go because he didn't choose our relationship. And that was extremely difficult. But I said, I'll never beg and I'll never convince a man that I'm the right fit for him if he's not already convinced. That is just my model. Maybe your model is something different, but you got to have a high standard for yourself. So if he can't see your value, somebody else will definitely see your value. And you don't need to convince them. The truth is, your right partner, you don't need to fucking convince him or her of your value. When they decide that you are that most precious and valuable thing in life, they will do every action to make sure they have you by their side, especially men. Now, that being said, I did not beg. I did not revert back to, begging him to come. I have my own pride and I have my own self respect. I knew by doing those things, I would actually look down on myself, disrespect myself. But first and foremost, I had to do it for me. I had to start choosing me again. That's why I wrote that book, Learning to Choose Yourself, even when you feel like your ego is crushed down into the ground and somebody left you and abandoned you in the cold and it's scary and it's lonely. Nobody's coming to save you. Only you can save yourself. Only you. If you didn't have unconditional self love, unconditional love from somebody else, you got to give it to yourself. And when you give it to yourself and you pour into yourself, you become radiant. You become so light, effortless, attractive, and that is extremely desirable to the opposite sex. So, and it also is a practice of patience too for yourself and loving kindness to you. I know you heard of all of those different themes. So, I let my partner go. I didn't beg. So I pull in all of the love that I was pouring into him. I took all of that love and I dedicated onto myself, onto my own self improvement, doing the things that lights me up. When I was in that relationship, I was pouring all of my love towards him. I was pouring all of my love towards his friend, to his family, to nurture them, making sure that they are comfortable, happy, joyful. So I gave so much of me and I had nothing left to give to myself. But now that I no longer have him in the picture, I can give all of that love back onto me. And that feels extremely strange when you're a selfless person, when you're an empath. You worry about them. You worry if they're going to be okay more than you worry about yourself. But that's why I say choose you, because you need to learn the skill set of being selfish for you, for your own happiness, for your own survival. And when your cup is full, then you can pour the love onto other, because it overflows to your partner, to your children, to your friends, your family, your community. That is the best way of doing it. So that being set aside, I guess I'll go on for another 10 minutes. I said 30 minutes. I hope that you find this interesting, and that you find some value in what I'm sharing. I'm speaking truly from the heart. It's not scripted. I'm not a scripted type of person. I will speak from my heart and I'll just share my experience. But next time when I'll do a live, we'll pick a specific theme. And then we'll discuss and I'll share through story. And we're definitely going to have Kevin Anthony, the relationship and sexologist, come on with us. And he's probably right now doing his live, so he can't answer his phone. Say, hey, Kevin, hope you're doing an amazing YouTube live on your channel as well. I love Kevin, sweet, sweet, sweet guy. So if you ever is interested, he has like a full YouTube channel on so many different topic on sex and relationship. I highly recommend you go and check him out. I just adore my friend, a good human being. Um, So, yeah, so I decided I was a worthy woman. That even though I was abandoned and rejected, even though that was extremely painful, and then all I kept replaying and rehashing over and over again was the couple last conversation we had together with my ex-boyfriend, where he said, well, what you gotta offer me, like, like you're not that special. So he was putting me down. He was making me feel less than. He would, invite me to go to a restaurant, and then saying, babe, you work really hard, let me reward you, let me take you out to a restaurant, only to go up to the restaurant I was exhausted and beat. And we would go to the restaurant only for him to put me down and create traumas and chaos in front of waitress in public, which is something, it's my huge pet peeve. I hate public display of disagreements in couple. I rather do that in privacy. And so he had this major fit, which just ruined my whole entire. It was a Friday too, like a tough week working, and then he would make this scene. And I remember being so angry and saying, if you knew that you were going to invite me to only embarrass me and put me down in public, why didn't you just leave me to stay at home? So I'm sure he wasn't doing it consciously. Probably he was, usually people, when they do stuff, they are to some extent aware of their intent and their plan. Maybe not all of the time, because they haven't learned from their pattern or what they're doing, and they're not exactly sure of what emotion they might be feeling. So to be fair with my ex-boyfriend, I think he knew he wanted to exit out of the relationship. He didn't know if that was the right decision. He definitely had a side chick on the side, because it was not long after that he was already going out with some other chick. And you know what? At the time when I learned about it, it hurt. But I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful that girl came into his life. And maybe he's watching it now, because he used to follow on my channel. Anyway, but I am extremely grateful that this chick happened to come in his life. I'm sure she was a great human being, and I want him to be happy as well. Um, she came into his life, and so, new toys, new things. So, novelty, it's always interesting. It always looked amazing at the beginning. And then, the same old thing. You have to work on a relationship. You can't just jump from one to the other, expect it to change if you haven't worked on yourself and haven't learned and evolved you're going to repeat the same pattern over and over again. But I'm truly grateful that he did decided to leave because honestly, looking back, we have a lot of beautiful moments together, but we were not a good fit in so many ways. I needed somebody who was extremely secure in who they are. I needed somebody that was not jealous and possessive. I needed somebody that wasn't an alcoholic. I needed somebody that was honest and loyal to me. And he couldn't give me most of those very fundamental characteristic that I needed from a man. This is a man that was never loyal to any of his girlfriend. He always had somebody on the side. Although he was loyal to me for the first 2 years, when things go sour, he reverts back to his old pattern, which is to substitute it with another body. And that is something that's not aligned with my value. I would never do that to any of my partner, even in my 17 years marriage, even though the last 6 year was not going very well and I had many different options and proposition. I never swayed. I never swayed from my relationship. I just didn't see the point of starting a new relationship with somebody else to just feel that temporary validation, desirableness from another person, another the opposite sex. Why start something that you can't finish, you know? So I would rather finish a relationship, either call it completely quit or we work on that relationship until one relation is finished, then only then will I start a new relationship. And that's always been the motto because nobody else will know. And I'll tell you something. In the last year of my relationship of my 17 years, I wanted to find the answer of whether I should stay in my marriage or leave. And when you invested so much time and energy into loving a person, to even building a family, having 2 kids and a home and working in a career so hard, you can't just throw that away just like that. So I needed to find myself, reconnect with who I was because I didn't recognize who I was anymore with him. And I just only saw darkness. He brought out the worst in my personality trait, which is not me. Like I'm a very happy, go lucky, chill, relaxed kind of chick and no fuss, you know? I can give you a hard time if you trigger the wrong area of me, just like any other human being. And so I went to Cambodia to reconnect with my homeland and rediscover who I was. And through that journey, I, of course, you know, you go to Cambodia, you go to Thailand, you know, summer, skin bearer, bathing suit, you'll get hit on. And I got many different proposition. But here's what I'm so proud of myself is that I mean, who would have known if I slept with some dude in Thailand, Cambodia? Nobody would know. And that's true. But I would know. I would know that I broke my own value. And the only person staring back at me in the mirror every night so that I can sleep well and tight is myself. And I knew nobody else would know, but I will forever hold that secret with me. And I know, and I can't possibly look at myself the same way. And so I would never do that to myself. So I never did. I never sway from that. I kindly, gently um, declined proposition from those men. And they were so sweet. The guys that were there, I just told them, hey, listen, I'm very flattered by your offer. You know, and they were attractive men. You're a very attractive man and beautiful personality, but I am married. I'm married, so that's my ring with my current partner. Um, I'm married, and even though my relationship might not be going great, but I am committed to that person to seeing it through no matter what. So thank you, but no thank you. And yeah, maybe they ask more than once, a couple of times, but I always stick to the same answer. And I don't, make them feel bad, the guys, like that they're beneath me or undesirable. Just, hey, thank you. You're pretty cool yourself. I'm taken. And they were so sweet. They just gave me a kiss on my hand and just say, all right, no problem. And it was so chill. And that was one of the coolest experience I ever had. Like I thought they'd be like really aggressive and start pursuing me and wouldn't let me, but they were all chill. They're on vacation and they're gonna try. It's a number game. Like if I say no, maybe a couple more and some girl will say yes. So knowing that, I just stick to my value. And okay, so here's what I want to close off with. Let me close it off with this. How does one learn to choose a partner that might have the characteristic that might be complementary to them? So here's what I say. It's about the character of the person. Don't pick the person for their status, for what they own, whether they have a car, a mansion, or house. Yeah, if you like those things, great. But pick their character and how you feel, how they make you feel when you are around them. So let me break it down to three simple things, and I'm gonna call it a quit for my very first live on YouTube. I'm going on for close to an hour. Very surprising. I didn't even think I can actually talk this long, but I like you guys, and I'm just sharing my experience as another human being. And if my experience can help you, then I'm truly grateful. That's what I'm here on this earth anyway. I wanted to show you. Look at that. I'm gonna go in the wrong. There is my dream catcher. I love dream catcher, and I love those color. Anyway, so coming back to you, see, I love waters and nature. So what is the three characteristics? There's more than that, but these are the fundamental when it comes to picking a potentially good partner that may be a good fit for you. So list the qualities that you want. So for me, it's a loyal man, a man that will is committed, that will not shake and tremble when hard time hits. He will actually want to stay in that relationship and fight it even harder. He won't throw in the towel as quickly as my ex-boyfriend did. Although I didn't say that he was quick, he did stay around for 3 years. So kudos to you, but not long enough lasting. So, and then number three, what personality and characteristic in that human bring out the best quality in you? So, number one, you want to pick somebody who fundamentally you don't want to change them. We have this myth as a woman, as a man, that if they fall in love with me with time, I can change them. And that is one of the biggest trap and red flag there is, because you can never really truly change a person. You can help modify some of their habit, accustomed to new liking, hobbies that you might have, but it could kind of have that already internally within them. You can't change at their core the fiber of who they truly are. So I say better off to actually pick somebody that you like and don't want to even change, because everything else that you will discover about them turns out to be bonus for you. And when you already like someone from the start without wanting to change them, you're just see it like this. You're not pushing a huge, heavy ball up a hill, hoping that it won't fall. you're actually coasting because it's just so smooth. There is nothing there to want to change about the person. So you can have the fun time of discovering about them and having the time to bond, to connect, and to deepen your relationship and intimacy with them. So that is number one. Number two, I would say, in terms of characteristic, do you want somebody that is extremely ambitious? If it's something that really lights you up, then go for that. Go for the man that, is ambitious and to have certain similar desires and common lifestyles and dream that you have. So for me, I'm a very ambitious girl. I got great vision, great desire to do things in my lifetime, in this lifetime, to live the best version of me and to one day become a millionaire or a billionaire. And I will die trying if I must. And so for me, it is already, it shall be done. And it's done. So for me, it's like just having the pleasure of doing the work, the process, and enjoying it while I reach to that particular goal. I have a partner who just, because he loves me for me, he doesn't want to change me. And so, me working, it is now close to being 9 o'clock at night. He's like independent. He's doing his own thing. He is entertaining himself. He doesn't need me to be around him. He's probably watching this Facebook Live, no, this YouTube Live right now and smiling and proud of me. And he is one of my greatest cheerleader that you can ever have. And you need that in a partner that see your full potential and more before you could even see it in yourself. Somebody that believes so strongly about you that it gives you fires and wing to believe in yourself. You definitely want that partner. That's number two. And number three, so you want somebody when the cameras are not watching, that they're always the version of who they are as much as you can. I know it's not everybody that can actually be like that all of the time because we all are in some way performative and we wear masks in society to some extent. Some people more than others, and other a little bit less. So I can say for me, I like to be as authentic and the same version of me in every area of my life, whether it's in my relationship, in work, with my friends, with my family. I'm usually pretty much the same version, the version that is truly raw and no filter. It's really in my relationship. It's only my true partner that gets to see the full version of me. Sometimes with family, you can't reveal the whole version of you because you don't want them to worry about you or nag you about things or lecture you or give you advices. You don't need to heal it. That's not very productive for you. But in my relationship, honesty always comes first. So for us, I had to look at the characteristic of my partner. Is he a trustworthy man? Not just trustworthy when people are watching, when he's performing in front of people. Is he a worthy and honest man when the camera is not on and nobody's watching him? Is he real? And I needed somebody to be real. And my boyfriend is one of the raw and real authentic person that you can meet, and so calm and generous, and those quality brings out the best version of me every time I'm with him. I was telling him early in our relationship, I think the first 3 months is that, actually not even the first 3 months, I think it was the third date, and I saw his generosity towards other human being. He would pass the street and greet seniors, people with respect, gentleness. He would open the door for an old man and just have no judgment. And when somebody takes an order and make a mistake with the order, he's not giving them shit. He's not lecturing them. He's just, hey, it happens. No worry, no stress. He's just so chill. And that matched so well with me. I'm a very chill chick, unless you give me a reason to not be chill. And that's another side and that's another version. So some people, based on chemistry, create a certain reaction that might bring the best out of you or bring the worst out of you. So with my current boyfriend, he brings out the best in me. He makes me the way I feel when I'm around him. He makes me a better person. And I've never been with any man other than my boyfriend that could actually bring out the best version of me. Every other man I ever dated, I always felt like they were my project. And that's another red flag. If you feel like, that's why I say don't want to change anybody because they become your project. But I always felt like the men in my past that I dated were like a project that I was excited to work on, but no longer today. I don't want to work on any other project than myself. And my boyfriend works on himself as a project, and together we bring the best out of each other. So we amplify each other. We're whole as an individual, two whole human being coming together. We create a magnificent version of the couple, and we still maintain our individuality, but he brings out the best in me. In my past, it was always me who worked on their project to bring out the best version of them. And every man that I ever been with, which is not a lot, just a few, but the men's that I've been with, I often get compliments that I bring out the best version of who they are, that they're really changing, they're being more mature, much more level headed, more grounded, more calm, but I get very little in return for myself of the best version of me. But with my partner, my current partner, he makes me kinder. He makes me more ambitious. He makes me even better in sex. We are extremely playful. I have so much more fun. It's just all around. It's ease. It's peaceful. And that's what I'll end with, is that a healthy, compatible relationship, it is not always firework all the time, but you will have beautiful, amazing firework. Maybe you won't be making the loudest sound, but every crack, every fire that sparkle, it's beautiful and it's just so unforgettable. So a healthy relationship is not one that is an explosion and short lived, but a healthy, compatible, true love relationship is extremely peaceful. And sometimes for some people, it may feel mundane and routine and boring, but it is not. It's because you are so comfortable with each other that it almost feel like it's boring, but it's truly not boring. It's just so peaceful and so zen. So let me end it with that. You'll know that you're in a good and healthy relationship by just how safe and secure you feel and how peaceful, how much peace that relationship brings out of the two of you guys. So I'll leave you on that. I wish you a fantastic Tuesday, and we'll see each other soon live on the YouTube channel again, probably next week, next Tuesday at the same hour. And I will be with my wonderful friend Kevin Anthony on his, I think tomorrow, it's going to be on his TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. So go to Kevin Anthony's coaching, on his TikTok. And you'll probably hear tomorrow, we're going to be talking about a really interesting topic, which is so unfiltered and so me. We're going to be talking about the blowjob. Blowjob. Why giving a blowjob to your man? Why most men love the holiday. I think it's called what? Steak after Valentine's Day. Blowjob. it's I forgot, is it steak and blowjob or something like that, basically, for men. So we'll be talking about why blowjob, giving blowjob to your man is so beneficial for the relationship, and how much closeness and intimacy can actually result from that. And that is not a chore or an obligation from the woman, and it's a matter of shifting your perspective to becoming the goddess of your relationship when it comes to the bedroom. So, Kevin Anthony and I, we created a blowjob mastery course on his platform, which you can go and check it out for sure. So, tune into that tomorrow on TikTok. You're going to learn a whole lot, and it's going to be fun discussion, unfiltered, completely unconventional. I'm going to bring in raw and real stuff. I'm going to wish you a fantastic Tuesday. Bye, guys.